Hey everybody, it's ZGP Plus. Welcome back to at least the finale for half of the players in Let's Play Final Fantasy IV, the complete collection. In the last episode, we got to the very end. I tried fighting Zero Miss and it just didn't pan out because I was a little underleveled. So I spent about the last half hour grinding. Mostly I just wanted to get everybody to about level 55. I wanted Rydia specifically to get to level 55 so that she could learn Flare. My favorite black magic spell in the game. It's just like Bio because it's instacast. It's cheaper than Bahamut and deals just a little bit less damage, but it's so fast and so good. Now, when I fought Ogo Pogo off screen, I did not use the Spider Silk on him. I'm going to use that on Zero Miss. He'll use Dark Hole and negate its effect. I already know that, but it's just like better. But it's now I already know he's going to use Dark Hole sometime during the fight. And it's going to negate the slow effect. I don't care because I just want to get that early lead on him. So let's fight him again. I'm just going to kind of skip through everything. I mean, I would have come in at, like, the Mysidian prayer to the moon part, but I wanted to be able to show you guys. I haven't changed my setup at all. All my equipment's still the same. I haven't changed a thing. As far as while I was grinding, because you can come across some really good stuff while you're grinding on these monsters. I happened to get another Power Sash while I was grinding. I don't know who, if anybody, I'm going to give that to. I might give it to Edge, because I think that might be better for him than the Black Cowl is. Or the Black Garb, or whatever it's called. But I don't know. We'll see. That'll be in the next episode. I don't know what I want to call this episode. Finale Part 1. Because basically what I'm going to do is for this episode, I don't know. How do I want to handle this? Because I could just show the fight, and then I could show the little credit sequence. I could do that. Why am I not speeding through this? I wanted to have auto battle on for this. But, I could show the end credit sequence. I could do that. That's something I could do. But, at the same time, like, I don't know if I could just fight him here, because I kind of really thought I was going to beat him in the last episode. But, I'm more than certain we should have a handle on it this time. I have no fear, because we have Flare. And Flare is amazing. And everybody's just stronger. Everybody has more health, and they can take more hits, and their defense is better and all that. So I'm not particularly worried about anything. I don't know. We'll just play it by ear. We'll see what the timer's like. Maybe in the next episode when I show the other party fight Zero Miss, maybe I'll show the whole credit sequence then. I don't know. It just depends on how long this episode takes, I guess. Well, if it's just the boss and the end credits, this should take just as much time. Because the way I started this episode is pretty much how I'm going to do the next one. Just a little bit more explanation, I guess, because you guys aren't going to know what I want everybody to be equipped with. Yeah, Meteor, it's awesome. Although, when you're using that spell for yourself, Rydia will learn that at level 60. I just don't care for it. It's way too slow. It pierces Reflect, but Zero Miss doesn't use Reflect, so I don't need to worry about that. And it just costs too much MP to use, and yeah, it deals max damage, but Flare's most likely going to deal more than 5,000, if not 5,000 damage anyway. And it's instacast. So it's like, can you really argue with that? Alright, so the party has fallen. Why do we do this to me? The fuck? I'm getting texts from my family members asking me weird questions. I got a call from Kelsey's dad earlier, and I answer the phone. I'm like, hello? And I hear noise. And then he just hangs up on me, and I'm like, okay, he must not have meant to call me. And then her mother just texts me and says, hear anything? And I'm like, I don't know how to respond to that, because it's also like, it also has like an end parentheses on it. So I'm like, what? Do you guys actually need me, or are you texting the wrong people? If she actually needs me, she'll text me again. I also didn't mention the fact that the classic Final Fantasy anthem plays here, and I much appreciate that. So we'll take the crystal. Basically, it's the redux of what we did in the last episode here. I can't lose. I can't. I won't. I shan't. All right. So we do the thing again with the healing and the stuff. I need to do a better setup with my items this time around and like how I want to use what. I'm probably going to use a Hermes sandals on Rydia and Cecil. So because I guess I goofed. Yeah, that's basically what happens if you try to attack what's-his-face. When he does that shake thing of his, I think that nullifies magic. So let's not try that. Instead, let's go for the crystal immediately. We'll have Edward do the spider silk thing here. All right, now we'll get Flare going as soon as humanly possible. All right, he's gonna counter with a flare of his own. It hurt, but I survived. That's what's important. Gonna cast Flare on Cecil again, because of course. God damn it. If he had done somebody else, this wouldn't be a problem. I don't want to cast a Rise because he's just gonna use Big Bang. I already know it's coming. Well, he's slow. Let's play around with this a little bit, because he does have slow on. Gonna do the shaky shake. Edward can go. He's gonna cast Flare, okay. That's gonna deal damage, but not enough for me to worry about yet. Shit, I should have just waited and used Kiraja. Well, Cecil is the only one that... Ooh, we all survived. That was a weak one. Very nice. Cecil's the only one that would have needed healing anyway, so I don't feel like that was an incredibly stupid decision. No, you just start attacking Yang. If he's throwing big bangs everywhere, I don't want you to get caught in the middle of something. And now that we're coming back around to Forum's turn, you can eat that. Ugh. Not that I want you to eat that. Let's not do that again if I don't have to. I don't think he can take another big bang. Maybe. Okay. I saw it coming this time. Ooh. Whoa! Let's at least bring Rydia back. Okay, there's the black hole. There goes my slow. That's okay, though. Spider Silk did its job. This should heal up Rydia completely. Very nice. And everybody should be able to take a big bang. No problem. That was it? We just did it? Man, we're awesome. That flare spell, I'm not joking. That fucking flare spell, dude. It's the greatest spell in the game. Black magic, hands down. It's better than Bahamut. It's better than literally any other spell. It is the best spell. You get that, it is broken. I believe Palom also learns it at level 55, and it's just like if you wanted to go through with him instead of fucking, I don't know, Forum. Not that I'd see why you would, because you'd have to have a healer in your party, you know, and why bring Rosa twice? Because you're going to have to beat the game with Rydia anyway. And you're going to want a healer in your party both times. And while Cecil can cast white magic, it's not good. It's not good white magic. So, you know, you're going to want to have a healer both times. So if you're going to nix anybody from joining the final party, it's going to be Palom. Which is unfortunate, but it happens. So basically what's going to happen now, I'm speeding along through this just because I'm just so giddy, and I'm clicking everything as fast as possible. If you really want to read the captions, you can always pause. But basically what's happening is Golbez feels bad because he caused so much trouble on Earth. And now that Zero Mist has been destroyed, Fusuya and the other Lunarians can return to a lifelong slumber. And since Golbez is Lunarian, or, at least half Lunarian, he's like, can I join you? Because, I can't go back to Earth, not after what I did. So Fusuya's like, sure. And so we're trying to get Cecil to say goodbye and call him by the term brother. Is he going to do it? Yes, he did. Now there's no regrets, or regrets, however you want to look at that. But all right, so now we go. That's the end. That's the end, by the way. There's still stuff to do, obviously, but that's the end. It's going to recite the Mysidian legend again. And I think it adds a little bit more to it. One born of a dragon, bearing darkness and light, shall rise above the heavens, or shall rise to the heavens, over the still land. The moon's light eternal brings I can't read today, brings a promise to the planet with a bounty and grace. And then the new part. After a brief pause, the moon travels forth, seeking another in search of its radiance. Through the same blood, lunar and terrestrial both, time's march alone keeps these two far apart. And I think that's it for that part. I don't think there's more to the legend. Not that that's really a legend, that's just that's what's happening now. This scene always looked cool. Even the Mode 7 of the Super Nintendo version. I don't know, I guess it was Mach Mode 7? Mach 7? So with no more need for the lunar whale, it goes away. Why? You're ruining everything. That's Steven. I'll talk to him later. Steven, I'm going to tell you soon enough, but the answer is going to be tonight, because I have somewhere to be tomorrow. Or I guess it wouldn't matter, would it? I guess it wouldn't matter. So basically, I don't know if they explained what's going on. All the characters are getting together because Cecil and Rosa are getting married. I don't know if that gets explained, but basically they're going to be late if Palom doesn't hurry up. So basically, they're just going to kind of flash through all the party members and be like, yeah, this is what's going on right now. And then, so that's just kind of the goings on. It's cute. I like the end game sequence stuff. Edge now reluctantly has to take the throne as King of Eblin. And you can't speed through this. I can mash on the A button and it doesn't do anything. It's all scripted. I see a lot of myself in Edge. All my recklessness, which honestly there isn't much, but any recklessness I do have comes from Edge. There just aren't any girls in this world. Quite like Rydia. And then the heart emoticon. And at least, not that I know of, but to my knowledge, I don't think Edge and Rydia ever get together. Maybe there's a small fling going on, but I don't think anything's ever set in stone. Because even in even in the after years, there's no hint at a relationship. Rydia has this charisma that breeds equality. We're all the same because we're all alive. And honestly, I wish, not to get political, but I wish everybody would just kind of take that tone. What would you call that? Equalist? And it sounds like a bad thing, you know? Yang, I don't know what happened here, but Yang's now the king of Fabul, because for whatever reason, the king stepped down. I love the concept that Yang's like I think the only Final Fantasy character that like wants to be referred to as king. Cuz like everybody else is like no, just call me by my name. Don't mention the prince or the king part. Everybody seems to hate being reminded that they're royalty. Except Yang, apparently. I don't know, I guess Edward doesn't mind. He never talks about, like, oh, don't call me Prince. But, you know, people refer to him as Prince Edward, and usually there's something more urgent to talk about. See, and it's like, Your Highness, and he's like, yes, I am king. Only after I've finished my work. You know, the job I have where I stand around and tell people what to do because I'm king. I wish I had a throne that I could be sitting on to tell people what to do from. It'd be really funny if in just like the last leg of the game, Edward just got like really indignant. He's like, I didn't save the world or anything. So why am I standing? If I ever had a complaint about this part, it's that I think it lasts too long. And I love this part. The dwarves actually, they're like, we don't have enough materials. And Gaiat's like, scrap the tanks. Like, seriously, we don't need them anymore. The world's, like, in harmony for once. That'll come back to bite you in the ass. When there's another war, you'll see. There's not going to be another war. Or is there? Oh my god, you guys aren't even really that integral. Honestly, if they hadn't given us Luca's necklace, I don't think Golbez could have gotten the last crystal. He couldn't have. God damn it, speaker. Now is not the time. But it's like, even if Cecil... Turn back on, you piece of garbage. There's Kane. You'll never see his face with his helmet off. But you can at least see his long, flowing blonde hair. His Valhallan hair. But, what was I talking about? Yeah, if Golbez had managed to break the magical seal... If Golbez had managed to break into the sealed cave, he'd have to go in alone. While his monster goons fight the other monsters that are in there, he'd have to open the doors. And him going one-on-one with a trap door, they have more than 9,999 HP, I think. And before he could get a chance to cast a spell on them, or enough spells to do enough damage, you know, to be able to break the door. This is just like, if he was character related, you know, in this game, like if you could play as him, wouldn't that be nice? It's just like, they'd be able to attack him with that demolish move, and there's no blocking that. It doesn't miss. It can't be reflected, not in this version at least. I can't think of anything else. It's just like those things would kill him if he got inside. And I mean, like, after fighting so many, he'd no doubt get weary, and I doubt he can use save points like we can, because he's the bad guy. And there goes the moon. And at last, it's wedding day. And they're playing Rosa's theme, but they're playing it in like a higher octave to show that the circumstances are different. Oh, great. I'm marrying a schizophreniac. That would be terrible. Just like if she out and said that. And then he just turns to me, he's like, Rosa, the fuck? And of course, Sid's here. I didn't know until yesterday. I knew that, like, the game designers had, because I was looking for a PNG file of something. And it took me to the Final Fantasy IV wiki. And, you know, I'm just scrolling through for this thing, and I get to a character list. And I knew that some of the characters, like some of the main characters, had whole names. What I didn't know was that Sid was one of those characters. It's like Cecil's full name is like Cecil Harvey. Rosa's full name is like Rosa Joanna Farrell or something. Edge's full name is Edward Geraldine or Geraldine or however you pronounce it. I can't remember what Sid's is, but it's weird. It's like Sid Paloana or something, or like Halloween or something like that. It's weird. But it's so funny, I think, that these characters, it's like Kane's last name's the only one that makes sense anyway. For him to have the last name Highwind is like, that's the only thing that makes any sense. And I think, honestly, I know I'm talking over a wedding sequence, but there's nothing going on. You can see what's happening, so why not just kind of spout off for a second here. As far as I know, Kane is the first character to incorporate the word/name Highwind into the Final Fantasy franchise. And that is the default name of your gummy ship in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. So I'm wondering if somehow, secretly and subtly, Final Fantasy IV managed to influence Kingdom Hearts in the naming scheme. It's very possible, and I've never seen the term Highwind anywhere else in another Final Fantasy game. At least not that I remember. And I've played most of them. Played 1 through 8. I touched a little bit of 9. Kelsey played 10, and I never tried 11, because 11 was online. 12 I didn't like. Didn't play 13 or 13-2. Never played 10-2. I've never even seen it played, for that matter. So, 15 I'm loving. I never got a chance to play 14, though. But here's the part of the game where the music gets all epic, and then it's the end of the game. And anybody that can... Why is Luca flashing her hand, and also the Elder of Mysidia? Huh. Usually only the characters that are able to join your party are the ones that do that. Now, I wish they would just show us the part... I can't even skip through this. They have to make me watch through the goddamn credits to be able to get to the end. That's the annoying part about this whole sequence with the Lunar Subterranean Dungeon. Well, not the Lunar Subterranean Dungeon, but the Lunar Challenge Dungeon. You have to, it's at the very end of the credits. And it's like, I appreciate everything that these people have done, but it's like, hurry up. You know, we're already at 23 minutes. This will be a 30-minute episode. Because this is about 5 minutes of credits. Maybe not about 5. No, it's about 5. Maybe because I feel like they scroll so slowly, it might be less. I don't know. But it's just like, I love this game. And I recommend... This is really the time that I get to talk about how much I love this game. I know, like, I've talked about this game a lot. It's my favorite Final Fantasy. It's always going to be my favorite Final Fantasy. I haven't played enough of Final Fantasy 15 yet to be able to be like, well, 15 might have the chance to overtake me for best Final Fantasy, or at least my favorite Final Fantasy. But it's like, I don't need to play any more of it to know that this is still going to be my favorite Final Fantasy. There's too much attached to it. So, you know, it's like, yeah, is it the best in terms of, you know, character development? I think it's pretty deep. I think, you know, a lot of the conflicts that some of the characters go through, like the fact that, like, it was the very first Final Fantasy where characters would leave your party to come back later. Final Fantasy IV was very innovative, and a lot of people don't give it that credit. In Final Fantasy I, you had 4 characters from the very beginning, and that was it. And Final Fantasy II, you had 3 characters, and then you'd switch your 4th party member until the very end. you know, but that was it. You wouldn't have characters coming back in later. Final Fantasy 3, still 4 main party members, and you'd have a guest, but they didn't even help you in combat. Final Fantasy 4 was the very first Final Fantasy to give you your main character, Cecil, and then surround him by other characters, which had their own schedules and things to do, so they'd come and go. And it made this system where you had to work with what you had, and I loved that. Like, and then Final Fantasy V came out, and then you have the same 4 characters for the entire game. I mean, not counting the fact that, like, you lose Golif in the last fourth, or the last third of the game, and he gets replaced with Kara, but she has all his abilities, so did you really gain another party member? Final Fantasy VI, as much as I love how Final Fantasy VI made your parties customizable, I think they kind of did... I liked the first part of the game, where, you know, like, when you first have to go through the different parties, and then it's like, this is Sabin's path, and this is Locke's path, and this is Terra's path. I liked that, because, you know, the characters had split up, they had their own agenda, and it was like, these are these characters, and they get surrounded by other characters, and you're building your army, but that's just it. At the end of the day, you have an army, and you can choose which characters you want. Once you get the airship, it's no contest. You can have any party you want for the entire game. You can have the same 4 characters, and it doesn't matter. And it's just like, I found myself doing that. I would always have the same 4 characters in my party, and I'm just like, this isn't as fun. It's cool. I love the idea. It's just not as fun. Final Fantasy VII. You could change your party members at will. Final Fantasy VIII, I don't remember. Final Fantasy IX, I don't remember at all. Final Fantasy X, you can change your party members at will. This was the very first, and dare I say only, Final Fantasy where you can do that. And then, you know, the after years comes by. Actually, the interlude. Let's talk about the interlude and the after years for a second. In the interlude, it's about a 2, maybe 3 hour long journey where you're playing, like, the lead up. It's basically it's the interlude to the after years, basically. It's a 3 hour adventure where basically there's this little small plot that happens, and you have different characters join you throughout this thing and relieve other party members, and that's so cool. It's like Final Fantasy IV condensed. And it's just leading up into the after years, which has all these different stories where you have certain party members that only have, you know, they work in certain groups. And I think that's really cool. And then in the final chapter of the after years, you have to, you know, you kind of get the opportunity to, you know, make your party the way you want. But it's like, if you had to go through all of this, all of the interlude, and all of the stories, all of the chapters leading up to the final chapter of the after years, I think you've earned your right to build your own party. And I mean, even this, they wait until like the last 15% of the game. No, like the last 10% of the game to let you build your own party. And guess what? There's an advantage to playing with all the players, not just building your favorite party, which I fucking love that. What is it about this game that understands how a party needs to be set up? You know? And it's like talking about like party members coming and going and all of the Final Fantasies not doing that. Final Fantasy 15 is the same way. You have 4 party members. I haven't played enough of it yet. And, like, yeah, you get guest party members, but it's like you have 4 main party members, and that doesn't change. It's just boring. I know it's to build a deeper connection with the characters that you do get in your party, and that's kind of why the characters in this game have to be kind of two-dimensional. So that you don't, you know, they can't all be the same level of deep, because some of them aren't going to be in your party for very long, like Edward. Edward is a coward. He's a coward that's trying to find his strength. That's his whole character. And you can't do much more than that because he's in your party once. You know, he's in your party for literally an hour, if that. Like, more like 45 minutes throughout the entirety of the main game. And guess what? In the original Super Nintendo and Super Famicom versions, that was it. He was in your party for 45 minutes of the entire game. Now, granted, you talk to him in Troya, and he gives you the Whisper Weed and stuff because he's becoming more mature. He's finding his strength, but it's like he's not in your party. It's not the same. And it's like, Yang has to be the strict monk. Sid has to be the goofy old engineer. Tella has to be the snarky, you know, cynical old sage. The twins have to be young innocents. Brydia has to be a young innocent and then become a mature adult. And that's really all she gets as a character. You know, she honestly has more character when she's a child because she's experienced like this whole, you know, losing her family and that kind of stuff. And then when you get her in the underworld as an adult, she's just like, yeah, I'm an adult. I'm totally cool. And that's it. You know, I'm just blah the rest of the game. Not that that's a problem. It's just, you know, I understand if people might have a problem with this game and their character's not being deep enough. But it's like, were the characters in Final Fantasy 1 really that deep? What about Final Fantasy 2? Final Fantasy 3? Were they really that deep? Final Fantasy 5, the characters got pretty deep. But even then, it's only slightly deeper than these ones. So there's a lot of argument to be made about, like, just how far you can take that argument. And it's like, the fucking credits are still going. I've gone on this whole soapbox about character development in the Final Fantasy franchise, and just now, we are at 31 minutes. The end indeed. And even then, I have to wait. I still have to wait, because it has to go to the lunar... Could I have done that the whole time? I tried. I tried that. I hit every button when the credits started. Maybe it's the end that starts a trigger. But here we go. This little face on the moon, which I never explored, by the way. By the way, guys, there's a face on the moon. I could have explored it, but you couldn't do anything if you went there. A new dungeon, the Lunar Ruins, has emerged on the moon's surface. The seal upon the two mages' door of the Lunar Ruins has been broken. That's why you only need one of the twins to break that door seal. The seal upon the monk's door of the Lunar Ruins has been broken. Upon the bard's door, the paladin's door, and the summoner's door. Save clear data. Abso-fucking-lutely. All right. Now, where are you going to put us after all that? If I open up this save file... You're going to send me back there? Okay, that's cool. I'm going to go... I'm gonna stop for now. And I'm going to go back to Earth. I'm going to switch out my party. I'm going to deck them out with their best stuff. Or at least the best equipment set I can make. That might not necessarily be their best stuff. But after that, I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to run all the way through the Lunar Subterrane again. And in the next episode, Final Fantasy IV, the complete collection, I will meet you guys back to fight Zero Mist for a rematch. It's going to be a shorter episode. I think we're just going to fight Zero Mist because I don't want to look through the whole credits thing again. You basically know what happens at the end of the credits. So, this is Irga Plus signing off. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button to become more awesome than you already are. Be sure to follow me on Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter. I got those in a very weird order. But, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, I guess. Bye.